Now this is what happened to bring me to God. Right? Now, I remember this day so bad. Like I can remember everything about it. Right? I don't remember the date. I remember the actual time it happened. Now this was in December of 2008. I got a phone call in the morning from my GP, and Dr. Francis. He called me up and he's like, Daniel, I want you to stop everything right now. I go, yeah, alright doc, what? What's wrong? He goes, your mum is out of blood. She needs a emergency transfusion right now. Now, I was going to just drop my mum off to the bank and stuff, and then I was going to take her home because I was about to go to work. And immediately I called my boss, and I told him, look, man, I gotta take my mum to the hospital. And he had a bit of a go at me on the phone. But eventually he realised, I wasn't joking and it was really important. So he let me off. But he said there was a condition, I had to work the next day. So I went, okay. So this happened. And I remember going into the hospital because waiting for so long. She didn't actually get seen until about 8 o'clock at night. So we were there from 2 o'clock, and I actually left the hospital about 10 o'clock at night. And she had the transfusion that night, but she was still very weak, and they had to keep her in. And this went on for a couple of weeks. So we'd find out later on. She would have a test to see if everything was alright, because eventually she had a couple of transfusions, I think 3 in total, because she was just really out of blood. Because my mum's anemic, so she needs a lot of iron and she doesn't have it in her diet. And she had this test, and I accidentally walked in the same day and then these 3 doctors walked in while my nephew and my auntie were coming in to see my mum. And they shut the curtains, they shut the door, and they said, I have some bad news. We've done a recent test and we've found some cancer. I remember the rest of the night. I acted like it didn't faze me before I left out. And so acting brave. You gotta put a brave face on this. The moment I stepped into the car, I burst in my eyes in tears. And this is about 2 weeks before Christmas, or so. A week or 2 weeks before Christmas. So, the next couple of weeks, I would have to, stay strong and work. And Christmas rolled by. It was probably the best Christmas I've had, because a lot of the family came back, and we just had a good time. So now it brings us up to January of 2009. Now, Mum had an operation, and in early January, and she lived through it. Now, there was a very big chance she might have died, but she did live. And I remember the moment I said that she lived, I found out she lived, I told my boss, and he didn't give a crap, right? He acted like it was nothing. And that hurt, right? He was a good mate. But, the work also made me work while my mum's just got out of hospital. So I had to work the moment she got out. So, about a week after that, I got home. So let's do a reenactment of this one. So I got into the door, and for some strange reason, I knew Mum wasn't home because she was out with my sister, and I just started saying, Mum, like, Mum, and I knew she wasn't there, but I was like preparing myself, right? So I went through all this pain in this one night. And I remember it was just so bad, right? So I was crying. I tried to watch TV. It still didn't help, right? So in Filipino culture, you have what's called a Centennial statue, which is the Jesus statue, right? Now, this is my one I've had ever since I was born, and I remember this very well because that one used to be right here, right? I remember because that was the one I used to pray to a lot. Because in Jesus culture, you pray to the Jesus statue, right? And I remember this night very well because I started to scream at it. You know, I was like, "Why? What's going on? Why do I have to do this?" And I actually brought up this fact that there was a point in my life where I could have, helped someone, right? But I didn't. I had to help myself, right? And I just realised it wasn't actually a week after the thing. It was actually in March this happened. So, excuse me, I forgot about that. So, it happened in March. So, I was screaming at it, bursting in tears. And then I let this out, right? Now, I don't actually have the phone anymore that this happened with, but this is what happened, right? I just looked at it, and I went, God, if you're out there, give me a sign that everything's going to be okay. The moment those words left my mouth, the phone rang, right? Picked it up. Now, if you've ever seen The Simpsons, you know that episode where Homer just, is like, "Oh God, please God," and then the phone rings and he goes, "Hello, Homer, this is God." Free Williams, like that, right? Similar thing happened, right? So let's pretend that this is actually the phone. Yeah, if you haven't noticed, that's my photo with Albie, because Albie's awesome, and that was one of the classic photos. So I'm going to pick up the phone, right? And I didn't say hello. I just put it up to my ear, right? And this is what came out. "Daniel, everything will be okay." And I just burst in tears. It was my auntie, who I hadn't spoken to in probably 6 years. Right? She didn't know that I was home. She said to me later on that she felt that God was telling her to bring. That's how God found me. And I've devoted my life ever since then to God. So, you like those shirts in the last episode? Go to
www.pvbs.com.au. And PVBS is an inspired apparel. It's an organisation that started by an awesome guy named Eric Aguiman. And PVBS is actually short for Proverbs.
Agisman, what did Gab say?
Yeah, our pastor can never get his surname right, or he mixes his middle name with his surname. It's funny.